want to move to this next story because this is a major story. I love this story so much. I put this story in the title and the thumbnail because big story. This is a massive. I love it so much. Trump directs the Pentagon to use military force against the cartels. Guys, it's starting. We're gonna start seeing some military strikes on the cartels. Get ready for it. This is this is what leads up to that. So I don't know what video is playing there, but President Trump has reportedly signed a directive for the Pentagon to start using military force against certain drug cartels that have been designated foreign terrorist organizations. The New York Times reported Trump signed the directive in secret, providing a justification for potential military operations against the criminal organizations. The Times reported that U.S. military officials have started drawing up plans for how the military could target cartels, but any unilateral strikes against the groups could also raise legal issues if individuals are killed who do not pose an imminent threat or are not a part of a conflict where Congress has authorized military action. President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland, which is why he took the bold step to designate several cartels and gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. White House spokesperson Anna Kelly said in a statement to The Hill, Trump, upon taking office, took executive action to designate several drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, which provided additional law enforcement tools to crack down on their activity. The president confirmed in May that he had offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico and combat drug cartels, but he was rebuffed by Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. She said that we can collaborate, we can work together, but you in your territory and us in ours. We can share information, but we will never accept the presence of the United States Army in our territory. Whoa. Thank you guys for following. We just got a new follower? Who followed? The bot's broken today. Thank you for the follow, whoever just followed. Just finished up work, going to go live in the live in the gym the rest of the weekend. Oh, go live in the gym. Live in the gym. Anyway. So yeah, obviously the Mexican president, she has to say this because she can't say, oh yeah, we're just going to let the U.S. Army in, open arms. Yeah, come help us clean out the cartels. She'll get assassinated in 2 seconds. Or if not her family or other people she cares about. The cartels own the government in Mexico. So I don't necessarily blame her, but she's also working for the cartels, so I do kind of blame her. But yes, this needs to happen. Absolutely needs to happen. I don't know how you guys feel about war with the cartels, but my position, and I have been firm on this since since like the entire all this year anytime the issues come up, I've said it repeatedly. Take all the funding from Israel, take all the funding from Palestine, Gaza, Ukraine, Russia. Stop funding all of these BS wars. Let's fund the war on our border. The military-industrial complex is constantly looking for a war, right? Let's give them a war. Let's give them a war that we actually agree with. Let them militarize the entire southern border. Let them put bases all along it, militarize the crap out of it, and then just let them obliterate the cartels. I'm down. I'm down for it. All this money we're sending to these other countries, we could be open weapon testing on the southern border. I'm just saying we can be openly weapon testing on the southern border right now. But no, we just send it to Ukraine and Israel and let their troops get the experience. Let them get the combat training. Nah, screw that. We need it. Yes, preach, Tyler. No, it's ridiculous, though. We fund all these foreign wars. We fund a war in Israel while our own military is lacking. We haven't been in an actual conflict in a while. Our troops are not going to be combat ready. If we start going to war with these other places, they're going to be combat ready. Russia's actively testing tactics in combat right now. All we have are drones that fly around Ukraine and Russia, and we just watch from a distance right now trying to prep that way. And I mean, so are the other countries. But I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I've noticed multiple stories. All the countries are watching the war in Ukraine. They're all watching, and why wouldn't you? Because it's the most modern war that we've seen ever. So a lot of these countries are watching for war tactics and stuff, and the U.S. military even is. The U.S. military just designed a new 3D printer that can 3D print the drones like Ukraine is using, the explosive drones. You can 3D print them on the battlefield now. That's what our military is doing. So yeah, stuff like that. Like, we can be funding all of this stuff on the southern border. Go wipe out the cartels. I don't care really what the Mexican military says. What are they going to do? Are they going to side with the cartels? If we start drone striking the cartels, would the Mexican military strike us? And if they do, then okay, so be it. That just goes to show that the Mexican cartel has taken over the government. If the government starts defending the cartels when we start striking them, the Mexican government has been conquered. So then that's it. So then it escalates from a war with the cartel to a war with Mexico because the cartels own Mexico. That's where I see it going if Mexico doesn't decide to actually work with us. Because what could be happening and what I see happening is that we just have the Mexican president saying that she wouldn't allow this, but then, you know, you go behind closed doors and she's talking to President Trump and she's like, please tell me what to say. That way you guys can actually come in, whatever you guys need. Like, behind closed doors, she could be saying something completely different. But openly, she has to say this because she has to protect herself. I understand. We have this story from the New York Post. I really like using the New York Post. And Fishy has arrived for the news. What's up, Fishy? So we have this from the New York Post. He said Trump secretly authorized military force against Latin American drug cartels classified as foreign terrorist organizations. So Washington, this is from President Trump, has secretly authorized the military to use force against Latin American drug cartels classified as foreign terrorist organizations, the Post has learned. The move is the most aggressive action Trump has taken against gangs trafficking drugs like fentanyl across the U.S.-Mexico border, the activities of which were previously the purview of federal law enforcement. Excuse me. The order, first obtained Friday by the New York Times, gives us U.S. forces official permission to engage cartels on land and sea. Good. Absolutely good. Guys, the military... Sorry. Let me stop there. Slow down. The cartels have gotten militarized to the point now where they have RPGs. They have armored vehicles. They make their own submarines. They are a military force. They are stronger than a lot of other governments' actual militaries. So they're not a threat to be, you know, taken lightly. Not one bit. When I talk about going to war on the southern border, I'm not talking about, oh, we're just going to walk over them. I know that's not going to happen. I absolutely know it's not going to happen. And it's going to suck. But it's something that has to happen because you look at all the things that the cartels have been doing for decades on our border. The human trafficking alone is enough for us to go and wipe them off this planet. So it will be hard and it will be tough, but we cannot allow something like that to be a neighbor to us. And we need to get approval from Congress or whatever needs to happen. We need to get approval from Congress to just declare war on the cartels and declare war on Mexico if we have to. Like I said, if Mexico refuses to work with us and decides to side with the cartels, then so be it. But we can't allow this any longer. And the fact that this hadn't happened sooner, I mean, think about that. Federal law enforcement going up against a literal military force. That's what we had until President Trump got in office this time around. We had a military force up against our law enforcement. So that was dumb from the start. So to see this, I'm extremely happy. I've been advocating for this all year, and I'm really excited to start seeing some contact, if you want to call it, over on our southern border. I would like for the wars to stop, at least the funding and the supplying and the aid to stop to these other foreign countries. But you know, I'll at least take this. You know, I'm cool with us starting a war on the southern border. I wish we stopped funding these other foreign wars first. But whatever. I still want the war. I still want the southern war. Sorry, this is the one war where I'm in full support of it, guys. I'm in full support of war when it comes to the southern border. I have no apologies for it. Take my vote. Yes, take my vote. Let's see. The president is determined to not just dismantle, but completely destroy Maduro's Cartel de las Soles and obliterate their operation in the Western Hemisphere. The State Department's list of foreign terrorist organizations involved in drug trafficking include Venezuela's Tren de Agua and Cartel de las Soles. I can't speak Spanish. As well as El Salvador-rooted Mara Salvatrucha? Okay, MS-13. I didn't know that was the actual name for MS-13, but anyway, I guess that makes sense. But so basically what this is saying here, though, is that we might start seeing strikes as far as Venezuela and El Salvador. Then if we're trying to completely obliterate the organization, it won't be enough to just go into Mexico. Then I don't know. I'm still in support of that, though. I think we should just wipe out all the cartels that try to operate on our borders. I'm fine with it. They list the age of Trump. Okay. So Trump publicly mulled over authorizing the military to target drug cartels inside Mexico on the 2024 campaign trail. Since taking office, the president has upped tariffs on Canada and Mexico, citing their inability to shut down drugs and people smuggling into the U.S., and directing immigration agents to go after new arrivals with gang ties. The move is an aggressive action. Okay, whatever. Trump has also hosted families impacted by gang violence in the White House and has vowed to strip cartels of their assets to give to families impacted by migrant crime. That's excellent. That's an excellent idea. Anyone like so assuming what this means, but what that means is basically if a family has another family member hurt or even murdered by an illegal immigrant or a gang member or someone related to the cartel, you take their assets that are U.S. assets and then you give to the family that they harmed. I love that idea. That's excellent. Sounds a little bit like communism, but maybe don't come here illegally and maybe don't commit crimes. That's what I think. Maduro, Venezuela's president since 2013, has been a particular focus of the administration. Funny how they call him president, more like a dictator. The Justice and State Departments announced Thursday they would award $50 million to anyone providing details leading to his arrest for violating U.S. drug laws. That's kind of funny that they're putting out a $50 million reward for arresting the president of Venezuela. It's interesting. It's interesting. The anti-cartel effort is being coordinated among several departments, including the Department of Defense, Justice Department, Department of Homeland Security, Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and the Treasury, the source added. President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland, Deputy White House Press Secretary Anna Kelly said in a statement, which is why he took up the bold step to designate several cartels and gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. Yeah, like I said, guys, I'm all for the war on the southern border. I would like to stop funding these other wars that we have nothing to do with, that just get us into conflicts we don't need to be in. And I would love to get us into a conflict that we should be in. And that is the war on our southern border. I think we should, that's a conflict that we should be in. And if it turned out that I needed to sign up for that war because we needed people, I would do it. I have back problems and other health issues, but if there's a job that I can do in the military, I'll do it. I'll do it to go and take out the cartels. That's one of the wars I'd be willing to fight for sure. Anyway, I could talk about that all day, but we're gonna move on to another story. Man, I'm blowing through the news a little bit quicker than I thought I would, which is a little bit unfortunate. I suppose I could talk about the cartels a little bit more. I mean, there is a lot more I could say about it because the war wouldn't be as simple as just wiping the cartels out, as I've talked about on, After Dark with multiple people, and they bring up a good point, I guess. The point that was brought up to me when arguing this is that we can't just go in and wipe out the cartels, because if we just go in and wipe out the cartels, you're not addressing the root of why the cartels exist. The reason the cartels exist is because there's not as much economic opportunity in these areas, which people then resort to crime and other things like cartel-related activities. So if we just go in, wipe out the cartels, destroy the economy that the cartels do provide, because there's no denying that the cartels in Mexico are one of the largest employers of Mexico. And I'm being serious, like legitimate employers, not just illegal stuff too. So if we go in and just wipe them off the map, it will decimate the Mexican economy. And then what do we do? Because we go in, wipe out the cartels, and then leave. 5-10 years later, the problem's back. So I don't know. What is the solution there? What do you guys think we do? Because we talked about it on the After Dark, and essentially the solution came down to, and I know everyone hates it, is nation building. We would have to go into Mexico. We would have to occupy Mexico for at least maybe even a generation, and we would have to build up their economy. We would have to physically build up their economy, put down infrastructure, put down businesses and places for people to work, and start putting down the work. We would have to start doing the work for them. essentially, for these cartels not to come back. That's how bad it's gotten. It's gotten so bad that we would have to step in and physically build Mexico back up for them. That's where it's at, because Mexico can't save itself, I think. The cartels own the government. The cartels literally own the government. The Mexican president literally won't even allow the U.S. military to come in. She said, oh, yeah, we'll work with you guys. We agree that we need to get rid of them, but you guys aren't allowed to step foot across our border. Why? Why is that? Because she knows if we do, not only does it look bad on her optically that she wasn't able to handle the issue, but the cartels will directly target her as well. Because she, as the president, has the ability to stop the U.S. from coming in unless the U.S. declares war on Mexico. That's why I said it. This can go in some pretty crazy places, but the only way we truly fix this is we declare war on the cartels, which would likely escalate to declaring war on Mexico, which would then escalate into us occupying Mexico, because that's how you actually fix it. Sounds good. Makes everyone in Mexico learn English. See how they like it. I that's kind of funny. But yeah, that's where I'm at on it, guys. And I would love to hear counterpoints. You know, I don't want to be in an echo chamber where I'm just hearing myself and hearing opinions like mine. If you guys disagree, let me know down in the chat. Let me know in the comments down below, of course. But that's where I'm at on this. I think we need this war with Mexico, and it will escalate. And I'm prepared for it personally.